I'm here with my colleagues Arindam, Kriti, and Suman, and we wanted to discuss about AI and agentic AI adoption in financial services. So, Arindam, I want to come to you, right? What are you seeing technology providers doing in terms of their AI, agentic AI investments, and what are the challenges that we are seeing from enterprise adoption?
Ronak, insurance is showing a lot of promise when it comes to agentic AI with real traction emerging in claims to begin with, followed by underwriting, where we're seeing companies like Roots build deeply contextual agents that operate across both claims and underwriting, extracting insights, evaluating the risk, and autonomously triggering next best actions. In underwriting, we have something like Native Orange, enabling agents that handle triage, appetite checks, document intake and auto approvals, helping underwriters focus on judgment intensive decisions, which is the core charter. On the claim side, Sigma's Clive agent promises to act like a digital adjuster, managing FNOL intake, policy validation, and settlement recommendations, all while maintaining auditability. I also recently spoke with a Deep Opinion, and they are streamlining claims with AI agents as well that automate again document extraction and classification, promising over 65% STP even in high volume and multi-language environments. Then we have Neutrinos, which recently launched an AI agent library with 50 plus pre-built agents across claims, underwriting, and servicing. So, Ronak, it's rare to see such cross-functional maturity this early in a tech cycle, especially in insurance. And personally, I'm quite excited to see this much activity across the insurance value chain.
But I would say a lot of this activity is focused in the new age tech companies and the startups of the world and the low code companies who are transitioning into a more agentic AI company, which is very interesting because a lot of examples I didn't hear are the core insurance technology providers investing a lot. So that's interesting. That's a good thought. Kriti, I want to come to you, right? So as you think about agentic AI and banking, capital markets, financial crime and compliance, all the good things that we track, what are you seeing from an agentic AI adoption?
Sure, Ronak. I think from a broader banking financial services space, if I look at lending, definitely a lot of interest in the underwriting piece, risk modeling, how can I do credit decisioning faster? In fact, a lot of activity is coming in from players like Uptake. I think Lizer also is another one that is going very deep into financial services and more specifically lending from an agentic AI perspective. Broadly, if I look at the retail banking and wealth management space, a lot of interest is around using agentic AI for customer interactions. How can I leverage agentic AI for customer interactions? How can I have personalized portfolio recommendations at the same time? Thinking on the broader account opening, advisory services, those are another few set of areas from a broader banking financial services perspective. And as I look at, I think experience perspective, few of the names we have been tracking very recently and seeing activity on the enterprise side as well. So players like your Bud Financial, also players like your Cresta, even Teneo.ai are coming up with their own autonomous agents that can sit on top of these core banking systems. At the same time, on the wealth side, we are seeing players like your Wise and Teneo.ai also investing in these kind of offerings. So yes, a lot of activity coming up. Use case prioritization becomes huge in all of it.
Just great. And again, Kriti, the same theme kind of, resonates out here, right, with what Arindam and you spoke about, which is a lot of innovation happening, which is what I would call is in the core augmentation on the surround systems, which is where the process happens, right? So a lot of this agentic AI is a very process first view as I think about it. But as I speak to our enterprise clients, one thing is becoming clear is there's challenges in terms of adoption, right? We haven't seen meaningful adoption. There is a lot of roadblocks around it. And we've talked about the multiple debts that the organization carry across process, technology, talent, change management, data that needs to kind of be addressed to be able to drive this. And I think that's been the challenge. So I thought we'll pose this problem to Suman out here, right? Suman is transitioning into a new role as our AI transformation leader in the firm. So who better to answer, Suman, as enterprises think about taking all this innovation from the ecosystem, the technology providers investing so much in agentic AI, how do enterprises take all of this and drive adoption into their environment?
Thanks, Ronak. Agentic AI is really transforming the financial services landscape, and with latest cases of scaling up of agentic AI being a challenge, like we discussed in terms of integration complexity, regulatory constraints, data readiness, and the trust factor as well, right? We are seeing forward deployed engineers or FDEs are being treated as the heart of making this transformation real. They are like the linchpins in this case, and how they are helping enterprises think about it is they're helping in building seamless bridges between AI solutions and existing enterprise tech stacks, especially essentially to mitigate the tech debt. They're talking about how compliance can be at the center because they can build interoperable tools, and they can bring in data compliance, the legal compliance, and regulatory compliance aspects into the enterprise thinking. They are also focused on rapid iteration and experimentation, as they are well versed with the tech stack and the technology aspects of it, also the platforms on which some of these agentic AI solutions are being deployed. They are able to rapidly work through multiple prototypes and experiment in controlled environments, rapidly scale. Overall, what we have seen is, like in the case of Palantir, they work side by side with clients, prototyping and evolving the solutions live. They bring in ownership, and they kind of ensure that the outcomes are met, and they're not just orchestration. They're not just orchestrating.
That's interesting. And I think the way I would then put this as a provocation for folks out here is FDEs is the way of driving the challenges around integration of the technology in the client environment. So combination of process expertise and embedded in the FDEs. So process FDEs, if I have to call them as the name out here, is the way to go, because we are talking about regulated industries here. These processes are complex. They've been around for decades or even hundreds of years where some of these companies have been there, so they've been doing business in certain ways. So I think that's going to be very important, which is how do I get these process FDEs come along, and not just FDEs as we think about agentic AI adoption in financial services. Kriti, any thoughts?
Yeah, and I think just another piece to add to it, there are a bunch of then implications that come up in the space, right? So as you look at the process FDs, you also need to look at the offering. The offering needs to be really good and addressing the problem statement, but it should not be great enough just at the deployment stage. Tech providers need to enable that sustained adoption and innovation continues for their clients, which is when these process FDs become very crucial. They embed themselves into the client environment. They help clients be successful. So how do you bring that industry flavor? How do you bring that process knowledge? That becomes actually quite important in enabling sustained innovation.
Yeah, that's important. So a shameless plug to end this video. I'm actually doing a workshop at Engage this year on September 8 in Dallas, and the topic of that is how technology and operations, or technology and process, are coming together in a systems of execution world, and how enterprises need to kind of align their sourcing, IT, business alignment, because the world is converging, and the theme for the event is the converging edge. So looking forward to seeing a lot of you in Dallas. And again, thank you for listening to us. And again, Kriti, Yorandan, Suman, thank you for your insights. This was amazing.
Thanks, everyone.